India and Nigeria are widening a relationship once driven largely by oil and commerce, with $9 billion in bilateral trade, growing pharmaceutical investment, and deeper cooperation in defense, technology, health, and food security now defining the partnership. India's High Commissioner to Nigeria, Abhishek Singh, said the relationship has evolved into a strategic partnership with cooperation extending beyond traditional trade. Singh said bilateral trade rose from $7.13 billion in 2024 to 25 to about $9 billion in 2025 to 26.
When you talk about India-Nigeria relations, you always talk about the huge volumes of bilateral trade, the diverse basket of trade, and the ever-growing interest both in India and Nigeria to increase the bilateral trade. Very happy to report that the trade for the financial year 25-26 stands at around $9 billion, which is up from $7.13 billion in the financial year 24-25. Many of you again are aware that many Indian companies are based in Nigeria. I'm told that over 200 Indian companies are active in Nigeria, and they relate to sectors like pharmaceuticals, manufacturing, power, construction, consumer goods, healthcare, services. And a very important aspect is that they are also making in Nigeria. They are producing in Nigeria. They have set up plants in Nigeria. And this has translated into close to 100,000 brothers and sisters from Nigeria being employed by these companies. And that makes these Indian companies the second largest employer of Nigerian people after the federal government of Nigeria. Let me also touch upon another important pillar of our strategic partnership, that is the energy security. In this, crude oil and LNG remain important, alongside Indian interest in Nigerian oil and gas investments, pipeline security, CNG conversion, and LPG infrastructure. We strongly believe that both our countries can mutually benefit from greater cooperation in the field of energy security. As you are aware that India is the most populous country in the world, 1.4 billion people. And Nigeria, I believe, is the sixth largest country by population, around 230 million plus people in Nigeria. So naturally, the consumption of energy is going to be very high. And all the more reason that the two great democracies, India and Nigeria, should cooperate more in the field of energy security.
Defense and security are also gaining ground, with India training Nigerian military personnel and cooperating with Nigeria on counter-terrorism, intelligence sharing, and maritime security in the Gulf of Guinea.
Many of you are aware that India and Nigeria face common challenges from terrorism, violent extremism, piracy, organized crime, and illicit trafficking. And naturally, when we are facing common challenges, we have a common approach in terms of cooperating with each other. And this cooperation includes intelligence sharing, counter-terrorism, defense training, and maritime security, especially in the Gulf of Guinea. Defense sales is also an important area of our collaboration. Another very important pillar of our strategic partnership is development and capacity building. When we say development assistance, I would like to highlight to the friends of media that we believe in sharing our strengths with Nigeria, because this is a very complementary relation. And we have shared our strength in affordable medicine, in DPI, digital public infrastructure, agriculture, skills development, and space applications. And these align very well with Nigeria's priorities. So it's not something that we are only good at, it's also aligning very well with your priority, with your development objectives. In this line, we have extended concessional lines of credit worth US $395 million, and also provided, I mentioned about capacity building, we also provided substantial training through the ITEC program, including civilian and defense slots. The ITEC program is a very popular capacity building program, and every day I spend considerable time looking at the applications that we receive in a variety of areas, ranging from audit to training as teachers, in rural development, in electrification, and they are going to the top Indian institutes.
According to the Deputy High Commissioner, Ms. Vertika Rawat, India supplies about 40% of Nigeria's pharmaceutical imports, exceeding 90% in some categories. Indian companies have also invested about $4 billion in pharmaceutical manufacturing in Nigeria.
The very achievements of the National Family Health Survey, that is expanding immunization, affordable maternal and childcare, and wider financial protection in healthcare, are the same pillars on which our health partnership with Nigeria is built. India today supplies roughly 40% of Nigeria's pharmaceutical imports, and for certain categories of medicine, over 90%, with our pharmaceutical exports to this country reaching $315 million in the financial year 2024-2025. And Indian companies have invested heavily, around $4 billion in local manufacturing in the pharmaceutical sector in Nigeria. This is what it means in practice for India to be the pharmacy of the world. It means not only affordable medicines reaching Nigerian homes, but also manufacturing medicines in Nigeria for Nigerian homes. And as Nigeria charts its own path towards universal health coverage, India believes the Ayushman Bharat model and other Indian policy models, the scheme behind the 12-fold rise in insurance coverage I shared earlier, offers a template well worth exploring together, alongside the continued training of Nigerian health professionals under India's ITEC flagship program. To conclude, let me say that these are not two separate stories. They are one and the same story of two nations, once united in the struggle against colonialism, and now united in the pursuit of health, dignity, and shared prosperity.